Hello and good day. In the last video, I've shown you how to convert binary numbers into two formats, particularly floating point and fixed point format in binary. Now, usually during the conversion, it will take time for you to set up the table that you need for the pick and mark and subtract method. So what I'd like to show you in this video is create a basic binary table which we can use every time we need to convert values from decimal to binary, either in floating point or fixed point format. And then what we do later is we'll just copy the table every time we solve a problem of conversion. We can also use this for addition and subtraction later. So let's head over to the example. To create our binary table, we'll just open our Google Drive and click the new button. After which we are going to head over to Google Sheets, and right away we are opened a blank Google Sheet. We will name this Google Sheet as our binary table. Now our first task is to locate the position of binary point. In this case, I'd like to use the column P as the position of the binary point and use 3 rows, okay, to be set in a different color to indicate the border between the integer and the fractional part. To do that, I'll choose this. How do I do that? I go to the key to the second row of the column P. I hold down the shift key and go down 4 cells. Okay. After which I'm going to pull over the menu by clicking this three buttons, no? 3 buttons, and then clicking over to that drop bucket icon, which is the fill color icon. I'll head over to that and click it and choose the red color. So now this red indicator will be used as the border between, or the separator between, my decimal and my fractional part. Let us create the right part of the table first. The right part of the table, remember, is a fractional part. So we'll start with 1/2. This is an descending exponent of the base, which is 2. So the second is 1/4, because that's 1/2 divided by 2. 1/4 divided by 2 is 1/8. And we know this is followed by 1 over 16, to be followed by 1 over 32. Okay, we'll just do this manually now. 1 over 64, followed by, you can do this at the same time while watching the video, 1 over 128, and we're almost finished, no? 1 over 256, okay, and then we'll have 1 over 5512, and our final value is 1 over 1024. We have 10 bits here. It's convenient to do this because we can have a long mantisa as long as 10 bits during floating point conversion. Now, it's hard to navigate a table if the cells are wide. Therefore, we are going to change the width of the table. Normally, you can just double click on one of the edges, but that will do it one by one. So instead of doing it one by one, we click over to the column that we want to change. We make sure that it's selected. We hold down the shift key and move to the right. Okay. After which we are going to select one border and wait for the icon to change like this with 2 arrows showing to going to the left and to the right. And then we double click, and that fits our column, which means that now we have a smaller table. Now we work over to the place values. The place values is 0.5, that's 1/2. And then the next value is 1/4, but we don't have to type it. We'll just use the equal formula. Okay, we have equals the previous column or the previous cell divided by 2. So that gives us 1/4. Okay, and then we'll do that again, equals, go to the previous column divided by 2. But that's too time consuming. What we just do is we just copy one of the cells, head over to the right part, its neighbor, and then we hold down the shift key and move to the end before we press Ctrl V. Now take note, our columns don't fit. We can just choose them again and then double click one of the borders so that all columns fit. You can reduce the magnification by pressing Control minus like that, or you can also increase the magnification by pressing Control plus. Let's do for the moment, let's do a large enough magnification. Okay. Now let's head over to the left part of the table. On the left part of the table, the first place value is 1, and it's followed by itself multiplied by 2 every time. So we head over to the next cell, we press equals, we point to the previous cell, and then we click times or asterisk and times 2. That's we have 1, 2, so that we can have the binary series. We don't have to do that anytime. We can click over to the cell, press Ctrl C, head over to the neighboring cell to the left, hold down the Shift key until the column C, in this case, column C, and then we release the Shift key and then press Ctrl V. Now we have completed the series from 1 to 4096. So what will we then do now is point to the column to be able, we just point to the column, no? Like this, not the downward arrow, downward icon, and then hold down the Shift key again until we reach the digit 1, after which we are going to do a double click so that we can fit the digits. Now below this will be our marks, where we start picking and marking, and one row below that will be our actual quantity for each column. We compute that now. We do that by pressing an equals, heading over to the cell upwards, times the place value, which is two rows upwards. So this is C3 times C4. Okay, we can also do that to the next cell, but that's too cumbersome. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll just copy this and move over to this. Okay. Now the position of the binary point, we place a dot. Therefore, we cannot use the formula here because it will cause an error in our sum later. We'll just type a value 0. Okay, and in here, we are going to retype the formula equals the cell above times the place value. Okay, that's the same formula. We can just copy it by Control C, and then heading over, sorry, let's do that again. Control C, then moving to the right, holding the Shift key together as we press the right button, and then when we reach the right, we press Control C. I hope you follow. You can just replay the video if you want to repeat. So the next thing is the formula, or rather the sum of all the weights. We place this in the column B, in cell B5. What we'll do is we'll type a sum that's equals sum, open parentheses, and we'll sum starting the first cell. The range start at first cell. We hold down the Shift key. We move over to the end, and when we reach the end, we just release the release key and release the Shift key, and then type a closing parenthesis. Okay, and we will have the sum. Okay, and then we will have the running difference. We'll place it here. No? We'll do an equals. Take note now, we do an equals. We move 2 cells to the top and minus our sum. And then this is the part where we color red by using this text color icon, pressing this and color red. Okay, this is autosave. Now, if you like, we can put borders. Okay, we can put borders to our table. We do that by heading over to the cell and doing a range by holding the Shift key, going down and then going right. Okay, you can also use the mouse here, and then once you have specified the range, we can head over to the border icon. If it's not there, no, you can click the dot, and maybe it will be presented. So we click the borders icon, and then we have a series of choices. We choose the all borders. So now we have all borders. And take note that in the position of the binary point, we just type a 0 and a decimal point. which will not be included in our computation. Okay, we just type a 0 here so that our formula, which is at sum here, will not be an error. I hope you follow. Now, the last formula that I'd like to show you is the result. Maybe we can put it here. No? It's much easier because so that we can put it in higher font. Okay. What we will do is just use the concatenate formula in Google Sheets. In Excel, it's concat. Okay. We'll use equals concatenate. Sorry, concatenate, and then open parentheses. And then we head over to this because this will be our mark, and then we'll shift and move over to the last and press the closing parentheses. We will set this at a bigger font. Shall we say we'll put this at 14 and we'll set it bold. Initially, there's a dot only because we haven't picked a mark. Now, I'll end at this point, but in the next video, I'm going to show you how to use this table in order to convert from decimal into fixed point and floating point. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.